So welcome everybody. And you know my name, Chef Dulce, and I am the chef and owner of Dulce Aromas, which is a personal chef company. And I always work for Healthy Mothers, Healthy Baby with Cheryl in the programs. And I am very excited to be here doing this demo for you because I really do this from my heart and from my own experience. I was almost 300 pounds 11 years ago, and my sister got diagnosed with breast cancer. For me, that was a wake-up call in my life, and I decided to completely change my cooking and eating style. I was already a chef. I am a graduate from Johnson & Wales since 2005, so I was already a chef, but I was eating horrible, and all the areas of my life were not doing well neither. So thank you for being here and for saying yes to yourself, because honestly, this is you saying yes to you. Being here, that means that you're taking a step and you're taking this seriously for you to make some changes in your life. I will appreciate if everybody put themselves in mute. And if you cannot see my screen, let me know. Okay. So here, I'm going to start sharing, but it went to the wrong. So the menu today, this is what I'm not cooking all that. We don't have any time, but you're getting a full menu. And I'm going to do the main and last dish that I'm going to be doing is the first one, which is a baked spiced salmon fillet with a kale and cilantro pesto with rounds of sweet potatoes, steamed asparagus, and lemon zest. And while I'm doing those things, I'm going to be doing the rest of the meals. Because the first class that we did for the program was meal planning. So it was completely theory. I was giving a presentation about meal planning and teaching tips and tricks and how to really consistently eat for good health by using meal planning. So this is a continuation of that class. So you can see me in action. How do I do some meal plannings while cooking one meal? Okay. So let's go to the first one. Okay. I already said that. So you're going to learn a meal that supports optimal health and made with simple cooking techniques. I'm going to show you 3 or 4 cooking techniques today. And so you can see how to easily prepare multiple meals at the same time, right? How to maximize your time. And I already told you about myself a little bit. I already thank you for being here. So the purpose, and one of my biggest purpose in life and in the way I do in my business is to inspire and educate. I want you to go to the kitchen excited, inspired, and start cooking. Because my belief is that as much as you cook at home, you're bringing health to your life. So feel free to stop me to ask questions. Please, I don't want to be talking for an hour and a half. Cheryl, I beg you, interrupt me, say something. Ken, Sarah, Desiree, please say something so I know you guys are alert, are listening, because I can talk for hours about this and be cooking for hours.
I'm here.
I want you to keep me, knowing that you're there, that you're not sleeping. Okay, so I always like to talk just a little bit. I know you have learned about nutrition with Cheryl. She's amazing. Cheryl, I know her for 4 or 5 years ago. She's my personal trainer. I'm very good in the kitchen, but so not great doing exercise. So Cheryl and I were a great team because she kicked my ass in that aspect for me to do exercise. So, but she's also amazing with her nutrition and all that. So I know you know a little bit about this. So what I wanted to tell you is that the only reason why we eat is because our body needs fuel. And not all the fuel are created equal. If you have a Cadillac, you're going to think about putting the best fuel in your body. And the best fuel contains macro and micronutrients, such as essential amino acids to create proteins, complex carbohydrates, healthy fats, vitamin, minerals, fiber, enzymes, antioxidants, oxygen, water, phytonutrients. We just don't eat of one thing. This is, our body is alive, is a big ecosystem that needs foods that are alive and that are full of nutrients to be able to allow us to be in optimal health and do the things that we want to do, right? So, and the right foods in the right amounts will support optimal health. It's as simple as that, and it has been proven with many, many books now, many scientists, many doctors, many health coaches, and many people that are being a testament of that. And I am one of those people in my own path and experience. So what means optimal health? This is what it means for me, right? Is to have an energetic body, that you wake up in the morning and you feel excited. Your body goes with you, right? You have a glowing skin and your hair is doing well. Your hair is not falling. You have a gut health. You have optimal digestion. You happy mood. You sleep well. You have a strong heart, strong bones. Your sexual drive is great, and you have longevity, right? There have been many studies to prove that in those countries, or now they call it blue zones, where people live the longest, they follow certain diets, usually diets like the one I'm going to talk to you today. So achieving optimal health is not only about nutrition. The way I see it, how I teach my students is a whole package. And I call this whole package the 4 pillars of health, which is the lifestyle, how we live our life, exercise, the way we move, our attitude, how we think, yes, I can, and the nutrition, how we eat, right? So those are what I call the 4 pillars of health. And when I was in a really bad place in my life, as I said before, all these pillars were ignored. And I didn't know that at that time. I am also a health coach from Dr. William Sears Institute. He's an amazing doctor, a scientist, has written more than 40 books. And I teach 2 of his programs, which is the LEAN, Lifestyle, Exercise, Attitude, and Nutrition for families with kids, and also for adults in their prime life, which is 40 up, or anybody who wants to prevent illnesses. And this is what we talk about. So conscious attention to those pillars of health is important. Ignoring them, especially nutrition, might place you in the wrong path between illness and health, right? In a crossroad, that I would say. And I am an experience of that. So what can you do today, right? So my invitation is to consistently follow a diet or cooking and eating style that really focus on plant-based foods and the use of minimal animal products in general. This is proven that has to substantially support our immune system that we need today more than ever, and you'll know why. I don't want to mention it, but and that will, really having a strong immune system is going to get us close to optimal health. And that means cooking and eating meals that reflect evidence-based principles of health that will support you in feeling better. And that, of course, with portion control will also support you losing weight. But I really focus, and I know Cheryl have told me about this, we have many conversations about this. I focus in nutrients in your diet, because depending when you are, if you are eating donuts and you start eating fruits, amazing, kudos, eat a lot of fruits. Once you start moving part, like right now, I don't eat a lot of fruits, but when I started that I was not eating fruits and I was eating junk, it was having foods was amazing for me and make a big difference, change my life. Now, if you are diabetic or if you're going through other illnesses, then you start modifying other stuff, like controlling your fats, controlling your fruits, etc. But in principle, cooking and eating plant-based diet will definitely improve your health and make you feel better. And those are meals that includes plenty of vegetables and fruits, whole grains, beans, legumes, seeds, nuts, healthy fats from plants, herbs and spices, minimum amounts of lean animal source protein. It has proven that we need protein. However, too much protein, especially animal protein, is not good for us. So there are many, having a variety of combination of protein from animal and if you want to keep eating animals, or from plant-based. And do you know that there's 30,000 edible plants. We are not even scratching the surface. So when you tell me that you don't like broccoli and asparagus, well, there is 29,000 more vegetables out there that you can try. So there's a lot of vegetables that we can try, and fruits and legumes and nuts and all that. So this is, I love to have pictures because they really say so many. And you know, herbs and spices are the underdog of the kitchen because people just use it like sprinkling, and also maybe they don't even use it, and they buy, which I don't have any wrong with it, but they buy those spices that comes like already combined, and they have them there in their pantry for years. They're not contributing to your health. So having fresh whole spices, fresh herbs, those are bringing you nutrients, and the herbs has a lot of micronutrients and nutrients and enzymes and oxygen. The plants bring you oxygen to your body. So any questions, anything so far? I'm going fast because we're going to start cooking. Any questions? Are you there? Are you with me? Do you agree?
I am here.
Do you agree?
I agree.
Awesome. Okay, so my goal is that those meals, right, that contains all that, they're also easy to cook for you and a pleasure to eat it. Because when we talk about healthy eating, it's like, oh my God, I will only eat leaves. I am not a cow. You know, it's too much leaves. Yes, it is, but you can make it in ways that are delicious for you, and they will be a pleasure. The best health food is the food that you enjoy eating it, because you will want to go back and eat it again. So, and also meals that can be part of sustainable meal planning and prepping strategy that fit your lifestyle. For me, and we talked about this when we did the meal plan session, there's nothing better than meal planning and meal prepping when you are in a journey to good health or in a journey to lose weight. Honestly, it is the best ally, because even more when we eat because we're stressed, when you have those meals in your refrigerator and prepared, you're going to grab for those healthy ones when they're ready. If they're not ready, you're going to grab for the things that are not healthy. We have been doing that for many years, right? And it's very normal for us. So having that strategy is important. So, and today, the meal that we're going to do today is a little bit of an example of that, right? How we're going to include everything that I just have said. The salmon, we're going to make a salmon, and a chicken is going to be very small amount. But look at all the plants, foods that we're going to add in this meal. We have seeds, vegetables, fruits, carbs and protein, but all plant-based. Oils that are going to be plant-based. We have asparagus, kale, cilantro, carrots, onion, cauliflower, butternut squash, peppers, pineapples, lemons, garlic, sweet potatoes, quinoa. Sounds like a lot, but very simple ways to make them, and make them at the same time, actually. And you're going to see it now in action. So before I start to cook, let me start a few things. Let's review some things. So I want to talk to you about basic knife skills and knife care. It is very important that the knives are well sharpened, and you use a knife. When you use the knife, you clean them and you dry them and you put them away safely, that they're not, you know, touching other utensils. Not having knives that are properly sharpened, and all knives, or using the wrong knife, is frustrating, is dangerous, and it's going to make your life miserable in the kitchen, right? So I wanted to say those things about knife. What is the best knife? A knife that you're comfortable with. I love chef knives. They're large and they're very durable, because I always cutting knife. You don't have to invest in a expensive knife if you are not always in the kitchen, but now you will be, right? I hope. But as long as you keep them sharpened and you take care of them and washing them and drying them right after you cook with them, and you will see me while I'm going to do some things with the knife. That is very important. We'll keep the knife for a long time, even if they're not expensive knives. Okay. Any question about that? Any questions so far? Any comments?
No.
Good. So I'm going to talk a little bit also of food safety, because this is a cooking class. I always have to talk about food safety. So my recommendation is for you to have 3 cutting boards. 1 for chicken, 1 for fish, and 1 for raw meats. And 1 for fruits and cooked ingredients such as lettuce and bread, things like that, right? And then 1 for the rest of the vegetables and the garlic and the onions, because you don't want to have your pineapple that you're going to eat in your fruit salad, with taste of garlic or onions. And clean the cutting boards in the dishwasher, or clean them with salt and lemon or vinegar, and always clean them. You use them and you clean them. One use after the other. After you use like vegetables that has skin on them, and you cut them in the cutting board, that skin can bring bacteria to the cutting board. So, and if you keep cutting other stuff that you're gonna eat raw, you're gonna transfer. That's how many of the food illnesses are passed through contamination through cutting boards and knife, because some cooks keep chopping and doing stuff in the same cutting board for 3 hours without cleaning them. So that is very important. And when you're doing meal planning, it's very important to cool down your dishes that you're cooking before refrigeration. Do not cover the containers until they're completely cooled down. The way I do it, and I'm going to show you a little bit. I put them in the bowl and I put them in their containers, and I keep them in the table until they're completely cooled down. And while we're cooking, we should observe correct holding temperature. Holding temperature are different than the temperatures of the food. That means that if I cook at 10 o'clock in the morning and then I'm going to have that dinner at 6 o'clock at night, and I leave it outside all day, that's not good, right? If I'm cooking my meals, all my meals in the morning, I wait for them to cool down and I put them in the refrigerator. And if I'm going to eat them hot, I keep them hot, right? So that is important to know. And you will be getting a handout. I wanted to wait for who was participating today to send the handouts.
So why is it necessary for it to cool down first?
Okay, because bacteria grows within those temperatures. So 40 degrees below is for cold, and 145 and over is for hot. So anything that is between those 2 temperatures is bacteria zone, is dangerous zone. Okay. That's why your refrigerator should be 40 degrees or lower, and your freezer. And when you're cooking foods in the oven, unless you're doing dehydrating, you should cook, and all the meats, like the lowest you should eat a meat is 145 degrees hot. That will be like rare. Or actually, yeah, not blue, but rare, medium rare. So that will be the lowest temperatures that you should cook the food. Okay? Because it's the growing. Did that answer your question? That's where the bacteria grows, within that perimeter.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So also food storage life, when you're doing meal planning, and this is very important again, because if you are in a weight loss strategy or journey or healing your body, it's important that you do meal planning. Even though you don't do a big of a meal planning. There's 3 types of meal planning, which I'm not going to cover today because that was a different class. But you pick whatever is best for you. And there's different styles of meal planning and prepping. That doesn't mean that you're going to cook all the meals in one day to eat it for the rest of the week. So for whatever you do, their recommendation is not to consume animal products more than 3 to 4 days. And those should be reheated up to 165. That is a different temperature because 165 will kill any bacteria. That's why chicken is cooked to 155, because chicken is the one that is more dangerous to eat under that temperature, bring the salmonella and all the illnesses, all the bacteria, right? So vegetables that are cut, like onions and peppers, will keep for 2 to 3 days in the fridge. And to cook it up, to keep it a little bit longer, what I do is, I have some stuff here, is I don't cut it completely, right? So I leave it in quarters, so they live a little, they stay a little bit longer. I don't chop it completely. I clean them and I chop them halfway, right? So I can use it faster. Herbs are, you never cut the herbs before you use them. You always cut the herbs at the spot, and on the spot, right? And you know, heartier vegetables like butternut squash and celery and carrots, those will keep clean and, you know, and cut for at least 4 days or even longer. But you know, I cook them. I don't leave them longer. And the best strategy, you want to know what is the best strategy for your vegetables not to get spoiled in the refrigerator? Because everybody asks me that.
Yes. What?
Eat them. That's the strategy. Cook them. Make them in sauces. Make them in dressing. I'm going to show you, I have a dressing that I did with some pieces of sweet potato. I make the amazing Chipotle dressing with sweet potato. And I ate it with vegan burgers. And there was a piece of sweet potato was going to go bad. Okay. Immediately when I see they're going bad, I do something with them. I make a soup. I make a pesto. You're going to see a pesto today. So make something with them. Okay, so other greens that are more, you know, prone to damage are the lettuce and the greens. Those, if you wash them and keep them in a really well-covered container without chopping them too much, just leave them whole. Like for example, the kale, you know, I clean them well and I leave them like that with paper towel in the refrigerator, and they will last, right? They will last longer. I don't chop them, right? So also frozen foods. Sometimes we froze our food and we leave them there forever. A year after we try to eat it. Frozen food, I don't recommend more than a month or 3 months. And if you're going through a health concern, don't even eat frozen food, because frozen food, they need to be kept well protected from oxygen. And once you see they have some ice on top, on inside of them, is already contaminated. Okay, so they're not providing nutrients, and you have a body that is alive, and you should eat foods that are alive. Frozen foods that have been there for months and full of ice in them, they're dead. So my final thoughts is this, you know, no matter what diet you choose, I know there's so much stress on the paleo diet and the vegan diet, the vegetarian, this, and this. There's so many. I am overwhelmed, and I have been studying this for years. As much what I have seen tangible with my clients, I cook for individuals or families that are in remission of illnesses or in prevention of illnesses. What I have seen proven is that eating and cooking as much meals in your house, at home, made by you, made by a chef, made by a friend, made by your wife, daughter, whoever make it, but making it at home and including more plant foods really, really will put you in the path to good health and give you energy. It's going to be a big difference when you start switching some things, because that's the fuel for the body. At the end of the day, food is fuel for our body. Okay? And you're going to have, as an appreciation gift for coming today, you're going to have I think Cheryl sent it already, all the recipes. And I also included the soup and a sweet treat, which I'm not going to do it here, but you will see me cooking the vegetables for the soup. And I'm going to tell you how to prepare them a little bit because I'm already have my oven on. When I have the oven on, I'm going to put a lot of stuff in the oven. Okay? So I'm going to go back to the menu. But actually I'm going to start sharing. Okay, and I'm going to start cooking.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to be like Madonna here because I'm going to be standing up. I don't know if you're going to hear me. So I'm going to put my microphone here so you can hear me better. So I don't know if there's echo. Okay, can you hear me?
UHF is connected.
Yeah, because sometimes when I'm here, some people say that they don't hear me. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Good, perfectly. Okay. So I'm going to take this away. I know I talk a lot of things and it was fast, so feel free to talk and say something and connect between each other. Come on, Cheryl, help me out. So energy here.
This is your stage, girl. This is your stage. Actually, we'll say in a few minutes, you guys might see a little change. I'm gonna be hooking up on my phone through the Zoom call because I have to start moving and stuff. So just so you know ahead of time.
Great. So are you guys excited for the menu?
Yes.
Do you eat salad?
With food, I'm excited. Food excites me all the time.
Actually, overall, can you see the table well? Can you see me well?
Pretty good.
Okay, you should put
Yeah, we can see it pretty well.
hit the speaker view, and pin me so you can see me the whole screen, and you can see it better. Maybe that way. I like to see all of you because that way I don't feel that I'm cooking alone. And can you see me? Do you have a good light?
The lighting is good.
Good? Okay. So, everybody eat salmon here?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Ken, do you eat salmon?
I like it.
You eat salmon salad, right?
I do.
You like it?
Yes, some taste better than others.
Okay. Tell me, what ways have you done it?
I baked it, grilled it.
Okay. What is your favorite way to eat it?
I like it on the grill.
On the grill. Okay, so we're gonna I'm gonna teach you in the recipes you have spiced, which is made with paprika and cumin. It's like a kind of a Mexican of the border kind of spice. This is really good for fish, for chicken, and even for beef, for your burgers. Okay, so you're gonna have that. I did that as part of the meal plan. So I have a few things already done because my meal plan is in foods that I create and I make it almost ready for me to cook because I cook almost every day or every other day. And I don't have space to have all my meals in the refrigerator. So my style is I do little things so I can make foods fast. For example, I already made the quinoa for the salad today. I made some already this morning when I was doing my eggs. I was doing eggs with spinach. So I immediately do extra spinach because I know I was going to do for my salmon for the dinner. So I already have that. And as I said, I create some things. I have here a pesto, kale pesto. is some kind of herb and nuts, salt and pepper, olive oil, spices or aromatics. And this is great to have. I always have some kind of pesto. This is made with kale pesto. And it's good to have in the way because I can make sauces. I can put this in pasta or zucchini noodles. And I just have to put a spoon of this to make a dressing. I can eat it with my chicken. I'm going to teach you also a very simple way to do chicken. So the cooking techniques that we're going to learn today, we're going to learn poaching. Poaching is cooking a protein or a vegetable could be as well in a flavorful liquid, right? And a slow heat. And you don't need to put any oil or anything. It's not very famous. A lot of people don't hear about it. It's like steaming, but it's in a flavorful liquid that is not going to make the food bland. And sometimes when people talk about this, it's like, oh my God, is this boring? But it's a great way to eat a piece of chicken or a piece of fish, and a great way to make your veggies as well. Instead of just steaming them, cooking in a flavorful liquid. So that's one of the techniques you're going to learn today. You're going to learn who likes asparagus. I love asparagus.
This is one of my favorites.
Awesome. So we're going to talk about asparagus and a technique to cook your asparagus even better, right? Because there's nothing worse than a soggy asparagus or overcooked. It's horrible, right? So, and also I'm going to quickly cook the salmon in the oven. There's somebody there. Oh, it's you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to start to preparing the asparagus that is going to go with my salmon, right? Actually, no, I'm going to start preparing the sweet potatoes because I need to put them in the oven. So sweet potatoes are awesome. I eat sweet potatoes almost every day. I love them. I know they're hard in carbs, but you know, if you use, I use about 4 ounces. I love to cut them in very thinly sliced, like to make chips. If you leave this at 200 degrees and you have it in the recipe in the oven, they will become chips. But today I'm not making chips. I'm making them less time. So what I do is I chop them very, very thinly. You can use your knife or you can use one of these amazing tools that are called, oh my God, I forgot the name of this. I can't believe it. Okay, this thing, right? Oh my God, Desiree, help me out.
Grater? Cheese grater?
No,
The grater?
this is
Slicer?
mandolin. Oh my God, a mandolin. So
Oh, a mandolin.
yeah, it has a very sharp blade, but the good thing is that you can, I'm gonna turn this off. You can modify the thickness where you want that blade, and this is a very good one because you can lock it and the blade will go down, like you see it goes down, and you can even put this to cover your hand. This is a very nice tool that we chef use, but you can also use your knife and cut it as easy as you can, having a lot of patience, right? So there's ways to do it. If you use a mandolin, which is, they sell it even in Publix, there's cheapy ones, but the cheapy ones don't have protection and don't have anything. I even have a glove that I use when I do the mandolin because I really need my hands, right? If my hands are damaged, I'm done. So this is a glove that also you can get, you know, and you can even cut, if you're afraid of knife, which I don't think none of you are, right? Who's afraid of knife? You can put your both gloves. These gloves are very hard to penetrate, but you might. I don't need that. You start doing that with your glove. So, right, so you put whatever thickness you want. Some of them you can measure them, like number 3 is thick. number 2 is medium, and number 1 here is very thinly. So what I do is I put the piece of vegetable in the mandolin, and you can rest this in a bowl. I put the piece of veggie in here. I don't like to use this a lot, honestly. So I better do it with my hands, and I'm gonna do it so you can see it, right? You see how awesome? Look at this.
Wow.
It's paper thin. This one actually I did it with my knife because I do everything with my knife. And this is how by the time I get this out. So if you want to do chips at home, you can just do it. This is a good investment, right? And you
So
see,
that's a sweet potato.
you see
Is
how
that
that? See how quickly I did all that. And you can do onions, and you can do all kinds of other veggies very thinly.
wow.
Potatoes. Isn't
That's
that?
nice. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. So I'm making this sweet potato chips, and I'm gonna have for the entire week. Right? So I'm gonna leave it like that, because even though I have the gloves, I'm very scared about these things. This one makes a lot of damage. Really damage. You don't want to cut off from one of those things. Okay. So while I have it in the bowl, you season, when you're baking stuff, vegetables, I like to season them in a bowl. So what I'm going to do, I don't put spices because the spices will burn in the oven. So I just put a little bit of salt, right? A little bit of salt, maybe 2 pinches of salt. And if you're controlling your oils and your fat, then you just put a few spray. I love these ones, which are coconut oil spray or avocado oil. I am not using olive oil because olive oil is not for high temperature, and I'm going to put this in the oven. So I'm using avocado oil because sometimes the coconut oil gives a little bit of flavor. And I'm going to put a few sprays. Let me take this out, right? And I'm going to use another type of knife, I'm sorry, of gloves, which is my hand gloves. So I don't have to be washing my hands, and we do this faster. So what I do is I just one spray, and then I'm going to mix it here very well. Can you see it?
Yes.
I'm mixing it very well with the salt, and I have always salt and pepper in a little containers like this, so it's easier for me just to grab a pinch, and then a pinch of the pepper. Okay, and this is, I always have my, once I wash them, I let them ready with aluminum foil. Why I put aluminum foil? Because I don't have to be scrubbing this thing. If I put it straight, even if I put oil, and I don't want to put a lot of oil anyways, if I put oil, if I put them straight in the pans, in the sheet pans, they will be a nightmare to clean. So I put aluminum foil, but I don't want my food to touch the aluminum foil. So I use this parchment paper. If you want to invest, this is great. If not, you can have a mat. They sell a mat that you can use it for years. I have mine like for 12 or 13 years already. Those are mats that you reuse, and then nothing gets into the food. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread the sweet potatoes. Do you hear me too loud? I hear myself so loud.
You're okay.
It's okay? Awesome. So I'm going to put it in the cooking sheet, and I'm going to spread it as much as I can. I don't want them to touch each other, but they might, because you know, I don't want to put a lot of sheet pans because I have other stuff going on in the oven. So, but I want to spread them, laying them flat without touching each other as much as I can, right?
Right.
And these are awesome, guys, to eat it eat it as a snack when, you know, if you are a stressed eater like me. I love to have snack when I'm watching TV or when I'm stressed. watching the news. I need a snack. Oh my God, depends on how hard the news are. These are a great snack to have on hand. They're like also the kale chips. They're amazing and basically the same thing. The only difference is that the kales you don't slice them like that. So okay, so look at the color. It's yellow. So here are my sweet potatoes. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I have the oven already on to 350. So I'm going to put the sweet potatoes in the bottom, right? And because I already have my oven on, I'll never put one thing in the oven. That's a crime. I already put all leftover veggies of the week from last week. I have sweet potatoes, I have butternut squash, I have carrots, I have onions, I have garlic. And by the way, I do my garlic once a week. This is part of the meal planning. And I crush them and I put them in a container and I'm using I put a little bit of oil. You do need to put some oil because if not they get they get too dry and they don't do that. So I already seasoned this with salt and pepper, garlic, and a little bit of the spray. And this is going to be all the leftover veggies that I had in my freezer, in my fridge today. I'm going to make a soup out of this. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
So I'm going to put that in the oven. And that's not all, right? I'm going to put one more item in the oven because my oven, I can put one big thing in the bottom and two things on top. So here we go. I'm making, also using different techniques for my meals during the week, right? So I'm making some roasted asparagus for the salad. The salad is a roasted asparagus and carrots with quinoa. That's the salad. It's a warm salad. So I'm going to make some roasted and some in the water because I also want variety, right? And texture. The ones that are going to be in the oven are going to be more crispy. The other ones are going to be more soft, etc. But I want to talk to you about something that people do very common, right? This is an asparagus. If you haven't seen one, I wanted to introduce you to the asparagus, right? They are amazing, full of nutrients, but they have this very woody end, which is horrible to eat, and a lot of people don't know that. And they even cut it, but they don't even cut enough. My invitation is to cut almost a finger of them. So I already have this prepared. And inclusive in fine restaurant, they peel it. They peel all those little things, they peel it out of the asparagus. And the asparagus cook in 2 minutes. So there's no excuse not to eat asparagus, even if you have not prepared them. So what I do when I'm preparing them, can you see my cutting board?
Yes.
Can you see it? Okay. So this is a chef knife, right? And every time I'm using the chef knife, for my knife, I always make sure they're dry. And for whatever knife you have, this is not a sharpening, but this is an aligner. This aligns the knife, right? Aligns it. Every time I cook, even 1 or 2 vegetables, I come back and I align my knife. So it's aligned. All the how do you call this in English? The ends has a name. The edge of the knife.
The blade?
The blade itself gets like rugged, so you need to align it. Besides sharpening it at least once a week and once a year with a professional, you need to align the blades, right? And this is actually sharpen it a little bit, but it's more to align it. And once you do that, you clean it, right? Other thing I want to teach you is I wash all the veggies with a solution, which is a veggie wash. I put it in water and I put a little bit of the veggie wash, but you can also do that with white vinegar. Nowadays, even more than ever, I wash my vegetables that I'm not going to eat fresh with that and hot water. If they're going to eat them fresh, like for example, the kales, I eat it with hot water, which is not recommendable if you're gonna have them fresh. But at this stage, I want to put some hot water into my veggies. So this is what I'm gonna do. I put a bunch of asparagus. I hold it with my hand, and I tap the ends. So all the ends are down, right? Can you see it?
Yes.
I'm gonna hold it with this hand, and then I'm gonna put my finger like this, right, about that, and then I'm gonna hold my hand there, like that, and obviously be very careful with your hands, put your hands away, and I'm gonna cut it right there. So here are the asparagus I'm going to be cooking. Those basically are chips, asparagus chips. I'm gonna cook these ones in water. The other ones I'm gonna bake them, right?
Okay.
Make a pouch here, which I'm gonna put in the oven, and I'm going to, actually I'm gonna put this ones. These are going to be for the quinoa salad. Same thing I'm going to do with this. I'm going to put them a little bit of the spray, and I'm gonna put them a little bit of the salt, and a little bit of the pepper. And I'm going to, this you can do two things with this. Compost it, throw it in the garbage, or freeze them and make a asparagus soup, which I have actually 2 bags already, so that are not going to be able to stay because I don't have space. And I'm going to put a carrot. Oh, I forgot the carrot. So the carrot, when I'm leaving the skin in my vegetables, I always clean it with a solution or vinegar and a brush. This is only for vegetables. I'm going to brush it very well. Brush it very well because I'm going to roast it, and the roasting it gives them a sweetness and it's delicious for the salad and for the soup, like for the soup that I'm making. So I leave the skin on them. And these kind of veggies, of course, I didn't left the skin on the sweet potato. Yes, I did. On the sweet potato, I left it for the chips. Not in the like butternut squash. I didn't have the skin. But like the carrots and the sweet potatoes, yes. So I already washed this very well. And I'm going to cut it like in diagonal. I'm going to cut just a little bit. And so when you're holding the knife, your knife, you're holding it like this. A good grip, right, of the knife. It's going to be a little bit weird at the beginning. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this like diagonal. I don't have a lot of space in here. But I'm going to make diagonal cuts to just make it differently. But I want it also thin. I'm sorry. I'm going to cut it in half first because this is for a quinoa salad. And when you're making salads, you want like everything to have the same size. You don't want big pieces of one vegetable and big pieces of the other, right? We're going to cut the asparagus later as well. So I'm going to cut this in diagonal. So I come here and I cook. Always you cut with your fingers, touching the knuckles of the knife like this. You're protecting your fingers all the time. So I'm going to cut one diagonal and then I move it the other way. I roll it. When I roll it, and then I'm going to cut it diagonal in the other side. This is going to create like little diamonds. I hope, can you see it? I don't know if you can see it.
Yes, I can see it.
I can see it. Okay. So it's going to be like little, so what you do is you cut and then you roll. And then you cut and then you roll it again. And then you cut and then you roll it. And it's a different way to cut the carrots. Okay, I just wanted to show you that. But for time's sake, I'm going to cut them all the same because I want to save time because we have a lot of stuff to do still. And I'm going to put these carrots with asparagus. And I'm going to make a pouch, right? I already put the salt and the pepper and a little bit of the spray. And with the same aluminum foil and the parchment paper, I'm going to make a pouch. And I'm going to put it just straight like that in next to the other vegetables that I'm making. You see my oven now is full. So I make this pouch and I close it like an empanada, like a Jamaican patty. And I'm going to the oven. I don't have to make anything. The salmon is gonna go there too, okay? But now I'm going to go back to finish the other asparagus, right? And I'm going to make the court bouillon, which is a seasoned water. I have about 2 to 3 cups of water, and I'm going to add a little bit of the garlic. We're gonna put the garlic. Where's the garlic? Oh, here.
What is the spray? Is that like olive oil or something?
This one is
Yeah.
avocado oil, and the other one is coconut oil. I usually don't do avocado oil because avocado oil should not be heated in the oven. So it's low temperature. So I'm gonna put, this is water. This is just 2 cups of water. We're gonna make a flavor broth to cook the asparagus and the chicken. So I'm gonna put garlic, and you have the recipe how to make a flavorful broth. You put aromatics. In this case, I'm going to put the garlic. I'm going to put a few pieces of scallions, right?
Right.
I'm going to put a few pieces of the scallion. I'm just giving the flavor, right? I'm going to put a few sprigs of cilantro, just like that. You don't need to cut it or anything, even with the stem and everything, because this is just like a broth, right?
Right.
And I'm going to put a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Okay? So this is a way for you to cook with no oil. You can make your vegetables, and you can make your chicken, and you can make your salmon, you can make your many stuff in here. I wanted to show you this technique today because I'm making the asparagus. And I'm making, after I use this water for the asparagus, I'm not gonna throw this water away. I'm gonna dump a piece of chicken there. And it's gonna cook as well, so I'm not wasting anything. So I let this boil for a few seconds, and I'm going to put the other asparagus. And the asparagus, guys, takes less than 3 minutes because they're thin. Based on the thickness, I will cook this asparagus in 2 minutes. And in the recipe, I give you 2 options. You can have a bowl of cold water. Once you take them out of the cooking liquid, you dump them in cold water to stop the cooking process. And you don't get those brown asparagus that you see over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of cold water with ice, and I'm gonna put my asparagus. This is another technique that is amazing to know when you're making vegetables and you want those vegetables to be really bright green. When you want those broccoli to be really bright green, you cook them in your broth or in water with salt, and then you put them in straight away in cold water with ice. That will stop the cooking process, okay?
Okay.
Why I want to stop the cooking process? So they look alive, they look green, bright green. They don't keep cooking, because once you take a piece of meat or a piece of vegetables out of the water, when you're steaming it or when you're boiling them, it will keep cooking. Of course, you're not going to put something that you're roasting that you're going to dump it in the water, but something that if you're making it in a liquid, you just put it in the water, and the vegetables are the example for that, okay? Green beans, broccoli, asparagus. So the water is boiling, and I can smell delicious. Smell like garlic and the scallions, which is green onions, and the celery. I'm sorry, the celery. What did I put? Cilantro. Okay. So I'm going to put my bunch of asparagus, and I'm going to lay them in the water, right? Like so. And guys, it's a few minutes. I'm going to put my timer. I always use the timer because time flies, right? Like now, it's flying. It's 7 o'clock already. So I'm checking my sweet potatoes. The sweet potatoes, I'm going to turn the sweet potatoes. They're already cooking. They're already cooking. Look how fast they cook. So I'm going to start turning them. Not turning all the sweet potatoes, but turning the pan around. Right? You are not going to be seeing the soup because the vegetables in the soup are going to take a little longer. I just wanted you to see how much you can accomplish when you turn on your oven and how to use different same containers for different meals. For example, here in this water, I'm going to make the asparagus, and I'm also going to put a chicken breast that I'm going to eat tomorrow, right? So I am meal prepping at the same time I'm doing all this. Okay? So this is going to take literally 2 minutes.
Hey, Dulce.
Yes.
So sorry to interrupt, guys. I will be seeing you soon. I have to get off the call. I have my next client now, so I've got to jump in the gym. Enjoy the rest of the class. Dulce, you're doing amazing. Can't wait to try the recipes myself, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for joining us. You can see the bright green color of the asparagus. Can you see how bright green they are?
Yes.
And that's what I want. I want to wake them up. And I don't want them mushy and, you know, if I do this and they start sagging, they're already overdone, okay? 2 minutes have passed.
So is that medium heat?
Yeah, that is in high heat because you see how easy I can cut it? I tried. Oh my God, I almost hit the microphone. They're crispy, they're flavorful, right?
Right.
That's what I want. Okay, because I'm not gonna eat it right away, I'm gonna put it in cold water, right? If I'm gonna eat it right away, I will plate them. I will put them in a piece of paper towel to drain them, and I will leave them hot. But because I'm not gonna eat it right away, I'm gonna put them in water because I don't want them to keep cooking. And I wanted to teach you this technique. This is water and ice. You can put a colander on top, so you don't dump it in the water itself. You can put a strainer, right, as well. And you can keep them in the strainer, and then you take them out of the strainer. Okay. So I'm going to put them there so they stop cooking. Now, I have that flavorful broth. I'm going to put paper towel in one of the other sheets. And I'm going to leave them for a few minutes again so they cool down. Right? 2 minutes so they cool down. So this flavorful broth is already boiling. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to throw it away. Guys, I have a piece of chicken here, right? This is going to be another meal for me. And I just have to put the chicken in the water, in the flavorful water, very thick piece of chicken. I have about 4 meals in here.
Wow.
Something very simple, right? So I'm putting the chicken in the skillet, laying it flat, right?
Right.
So I'm going to show you. Always when you deal with chicken, even if you don't touch it, watch all this, your hands, and watch all the utensils, right? You're going to watch that utensil there. Okay. So are you learning a lot? Tell me.
Yes, I am. Especially about the different temperatures.
Okay.
It seemed like I cook everything on 425 and not really changing the heat a lot.
Yeah, no, some things are more delicate than others, but basically you can leave them like that. So I'm going to put a little bit more of the salt on top of my chicken breast, right? Like so, and a little bit of pepper. And I'm going to put it in a very low heat. That I will do, very low heat. Very low heat. I want you to see this. Can you see it? So this is the poached. Can you see it? No, I don't think so. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
It's a very flavorful broth, and it's already cooking from one side. I'm gonna cook it from the other. I'm gonna move it from the other side. Look how quickly this is cooking, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it there, low heat, and I'm gonna make sure the water covers the breast. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit more water. And I'm going to cover it, right?
Okay.
Because you already know that that will be there for about 12 to 15 minutes. And I'm going to put it in the back of my stove to cook it on very, very low heat, which is going to be a simmer, okay? So
Okay.
Dulce, could I interrupt for just a moment?
of course, anytime.
What is your Zoom ID meeting? I'm trying to switch devices.
Oh, okay, Desiree, can you give me the Zoom ID, please, that I just sent you? Can you give my daughter your email? She can send it to you or tell you.
I can give it to him.
Okay.
Okay. What is it, Sarah?
Hold on a sec. I wrote it down. It's 8203 076 2944.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, so now I have, you can see, I have a stew cooking in the oven, vegetables for a quinoa salad. I have vegetables to accompany my salmon today. I already
You
have
better let me in now.
Yes, I'm going to accept you right now. Okay. I'm going to check my chips because the chips are very, very thin. They're going to be cooking very fast. Okay, and I don't want chips. Wow, they're delicious.
So are they crispy?
They're not going to be crispy at this point. To make them crispy, you need to keep them more time and a slow temperature, and you have the recipe. Okay, but I am not aiming for crispy chips. Okay, I'm aiming for sweet potato rounds to accompany my my salmon today. Okay, but I wanted to teach you the technique, and you have the recipe to make the chips. You know?
Okay.
The difference is that the chips go to a lower temperature and longer time. So what you will do, you will start the chips before, then crank the heat, cook the other stuff, lower the heat again, and always checking your chips. When they start getting brown, they start getting cooked, and when you take them out, they get crispy. But, when they start going down, okay? So now I'm going to give some love to the salmon. You always keep the salmon and the fish and the chicken in the refrigerator and to eat. However, the meat, you should take them out before, because the meat needs to be at room temperature to be cooked. And the salmon as well, and the chicken, but I'd rather keep them in the refrigerator. The dangerous is more imminent. So I want it very dry. I want my salmon very dry. This is a skillet that does not need any oil. Okay, so, but I'm going to put a little bit of the spray, the avocado spray, or you can put a little bit of olive oil, just a little, half a teaspoon, just to rub it and to put the spices on top of it. So the spices will stick, because if not, they will not stick to the salmon. You can put the spray or you can put a little bit of olive oil, okay? So I'm going to sprinkle the spices liberally. So it's like a blackened, you know what is the blackened? Yeah, you probably have done it, right? Or try it. This is not quite blackened, but if you want to make it blackened, you can. So the spices is a combination of cumin, paprika, salt and pepper, a little bit of cayenne, right? And what I'm going to do is,
Did they say blackened is not good, a good way to cook the meat?
well, blacken is to make it black with the spices. You like burning the spices, and it's very strong. Usually is spicy. These are spices, not spicy. So cumin and paprika and a little bit of cayenne, salt and pepper. You will see the rub. You have it in your recipe. A little bit of onion powder. So this is not a spicy itself. This is the spices to give it flavor. So I'm going to, you know, rather not that like, oh my God, what is calling my English when I'm giving the class? Salmon, so it takes the spices. So I'm also, this is a new pan. It says it doesn't stick to anything, but hopefully it doesn't. So I'm gonna put it in there. This is like 4 ounces. And I put the side that has the seasoning, right? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of the other side of the oil. You can do both in the pan. I'm sorry, in the plate, and then put it in the skillet. But because we're saving some time in here, I'm going to put it right away in the skillet. And this is a 4 ounces. It's very thin. This will take maybe at the most 3 to 4 minutes per side, not a lot. Because you don't want to overcook a piece of fish, and also that I want to be able to reheat it, right? So I'm going to rub the spices a little bit. Don't do this in the hot heat. I'm doing it because we don't have a lot of time. But try to do it in the plate, and you rub it, and you're gonna cook it like maybe 2 minutes or 3 per side. Again, you do have the recipe. Oh, it's smelling delicious already. Do you like the smell of salmon?
Yes.
I actually like the smell of cod and salmon, but the rest of the fishes, not that much. And believe it or not, shrimp. I love the smell of shrimp when they're cooking. I'm gonna wash my hands every time I use, you know, touch of fish or chicken. Make sure you wash your hands. So what do you think? Are you gonna do these recipes at home?
Yes.
Awesome. So now I'm going to check the veggies for the salad. Okay, I'm going to take out the asparagus that were in the cold water, and I'm going to put them laying in a single layer in the cookie sheet with a paper towel or a lint-free kitchen towel, so you don't waste paper towel, right? And I'm going to show you what a beautiful set of asparagus you have in here. These are very different when you treat asparagus with love and respect and keep them for integrity. You don't kill them cooking them a lot. It's a very different experience, and you put some flavor into the water when you're cooking them, or you roast them. I love them roasted because they are sweet and they, you know, they keep their flavor. This way, you're cooking it in water, so it loses a little bit of the flavor. So I'm going to, because this is so small piece of fish, I'm going to turn it. Well, you're already 2 minutes. And I'm going to, look at this. You see how blackened it is?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
God. Nails are amazing, guys. I'm going lower at them. How do you know when a fish is done? You know when a fish is done when it starts to flake. Okay?
When
So
it starts to flake.
you know that it's done. Okay, so now I have my chips and the asparagus. I'm gonna get the chips out of the hot. I'm supposed to let them cool down right there for a few minutes. All right, let me keep them there for a few minutes, like with the salmon. And again, when you're doing meal planning, like when you're doing 2 meals at the same time, oh, started to, Now, do you hear it? Yeah, it's crispy.
Yes.
Very, very amazing, delicious. Oh my God, they taste like chips. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna be very careful here. I'm gonna have to cut one piece because it's too long and it's gonna fall apart. So I'm being very careful. I lower the heat to cook the other side, and very carefully I'm gonna move it on the side so I cook. You see it's already cooking. This is just a very small piece of fish, 4 ounces each piece. It was very thin, so I'm gonna take it off because I don't want to overcook it. You don't want to overcook fish. That's the last thing you want. And
That'll make it,
going,
that'll make it tough.
you see how,
If you overcook it, will that make the meat tough?
that it's tough and it's, you know, it's not great. So you see, it's already flaking. Oh, it's already done. So when you already see that it's gonna kind of fall apart. Actually, I was supposed to put it like in a piece of paper here, but that's fine. You can put it in a little piece of paper towel to drain a little bit of the oil. You see, I didn't put any oil, just a tiny bit on top, and look at all the oil that came out.
Oh, wow.
You saw how little oil I put in it, right?
Right.
So, impressive. Impressive, really. Actually, I'm going to put this in the back of my stove. So now, I'm going to check the other asparagus, which are going to go into the salad. We have been here for about half an hour, 17 minutes, something like that. I'm going to check those asparagus and the carrots that are supposed to go in the, wow, look at this. So I'm going to taste them. Let me see. Wow. They're amazing. Did you hear that? So I'm going to show you. Look how beautiful they are. Look at the bright colors.
Yeah.
And they're not soggy. Now, you see, it's same thing with the carrot. The carrots are a little bit underdone. I'm going to be honest. Need a little bit more time for the carrots.
That
Okay.
looks pretty good.
Yeah, the carrots need a little bit more time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it again. I'm going to put it for a few more minutes. Because anyways, this is a second meal. So I'm going to put it again for maybe 5 minutes. But I don't care to eat carrots raw. So because I don't care, now I'm checking the soup vegetables. Wow, this is so amazing, guys. You should see this. So all these vegetables that we're making today, they're gonna go in my diet this week. See? This is all done. So when you're doing all these vegetables,
Oh,
you
wow.
put a saucepan, you put some
It
vegetable
look,
stock, you cook them for 10 minutes more, and you blend them. And because I don't like them too soft, I don't like that baby food soups. So what I do is, I keep some of them chunky, right? So I keep some chunkiness into it. Okay, so look at the asparagus that we cooked. Also, you saw the ones in the oven. Now see the ones that we cook and then we cool down. They're still at their texture.
is that the one you put into cold water?
This is the one I put in the cold water. You can,
Okay.
you can still taste they're sharp, they're ripe, they're crispy. You don't want soggy vegetables. Definitely can't.
Let me ask you something about the asparagus.
Uh-huh.
What do they actually taste like to you? I mean, I've never eaten them. I've wanted to try them. I almost bought them, but what do they taste like?
Mm.
Give
I
me a
love them.
vegetable that's related to it that it tastes closest to.
They taste a little bit like broccoli.
Like broccoli.
A combination like broccoli and cauliflower.
Okay, so I like both of those veggies. So now you've intrigued me into wanting to try that recipe so that I can see exactly how they are.
My recommendation is roast them, right? Because they're more like flavorful and they're more crispy. And also, if you're gonna cook them for the first time, cook it in the flavored water. Don't put it in the cold water. Eat them right away because you will taste those flavors in it. So at the beginning, so you don't get like, oh my God, no, this is doesn't. Try it with those flavors. Those are veggies anyway. And what I'm going to do it to these ones, and you will see it now, is I'm going to put some lemon zest. I'm going to put my gloves on. I'm going to plate the meal that we're doing. We're almost done. So what I'm going to do is, I already have some spinach, right, that I did this morning while I was doing my eggs this morning. So I'm going to grab the spinach. I'm going to put that in the bottom, right?
Right.
I'm going to put a little bit of the spinach, right? And I'm going to put a piece of the salmon on top of the spinach, like so. And why I have all those gloves in the back? Instead of having them here. Okay, now I'm going to put a little bit of the kale pesto, or you can make a pineapple salsa, which is some onions and pineapples and peppers. You can cook it quickly with a little bit of garlic. and put a pineapple salsa on top. Actually, I have that one in my Instagram because the spiciness of the salmon goes well with the sweetness of the pineapple salsa, right? And you can do it raw or cook. I'm gonna put a little bit of the salt in this and the salmon. I'm gonna put a dollop of pesto. I'm going to put a few of the asparagus. Right, this is one meal, guys. And look at all the veggies I'm using, right? And I'm going to put some of the chips so we have something crispy, right? I don't want to put it on top of the spinach, but I want you to see. And now, very important, and you should not do it. You should do it because fish always need an acid. So I'm going to get.
Fish always need what?
Fish always needs an acid. An acid. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do things. I'm going to put not the skin, the zest of the lemon on top of the asparagus, right? The lemon
Right.
zest. Let me get a lemon, a little bit of the lemon zest on top of the asparagus. That's going to brighten my dish. And also, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the lemon juice. Okay, like so. I want the seeds. And I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the lemon juice on top of the asparagus, the spinach, and the salad. Not on top of the chips. Or you can also put the asparagus in the bottom and just the chips on top. But this is the meal that we have created today.
Oh, wow. That looks great.
Okay.
Looks delicious.
And you have a lot
That
of
is amazing looking. Amazing.
Oh, the salmon is really looking good.
And the other thing that we're going on is that we're still.
So where do you live at? So I could just come over there and eat that for you right now.
Okay, that is my dinner, baby.
So I'm assuming you're in Florida, which is breaking my heart because I'm way up here in Connecticut. And I am right now drooling. I'm drooling.
That is the only bad thing about virtual cooking classes because my heart breaks that I cannot allow you to try it. That is crazy. But look how awesome is that, you know, we are making several meals in here at the same time. I'm going to quickly, I know it's 7:30, we said 90 minutes. So this is also a very easy meal that you can create in a flash, which is the asparagus that we're already baking in the oven with the carrots. You just stuff them right there with a little bit of quinoa. I'm going to use a spoon, and you have another meal. And you can have that with the chicken that we're already eating. That we're already cooking, I'm sorry. That chicken is actually done. So this is how amazing it is meal planning. Look, the chicken is already done. I'm not gonna cut it yet because I can't cut it, but I wanted to show you how awesome was that, you know? That you have several meals, and we have been cooking for how long? I have been cooking since 7, right? Did I start at 7? Or kind of?
Yeah.
So look at this.
So it took you about 30 minutes to prep it, and
Yeah. So look at this. We already have this chicken already done. And
wow.
you take it out and then you slice it. You can make chicken salad. You can eat it with your other salads. You can make sandwiches. You can eat it with pasta. You can put some of the pesto on top. You know, you can do anything with this chicken for the week. You can even have a soup. You can even strain this, chop pieces of this chicken, put some of the veggies already roasted, and make a soup, a chicken soup out of this. Because this broth, you can use it to make something else with it. You don't throw it away. Right? You can eat brown rice. So the asparagus and the caramel are in the oven. So what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to take them out. I have a little bit of the quinoa already here. Take all this stuff out. Oh my God, they're amazing. Yeah, I'm very sorry you cannot try it. I'm so sorry because it breaks my heart.
It breaks mine more.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so here I have a few pieces of this, which is very hot, but I want to make things quickly, so I show you how amazing is this multi-cooking. And you don't have, because look, if I'm gonna eat all those veggies just roasted like that, it's gonna be so boring. But I'm using it for different dishes, right?
Right.
A big difference. Oh my God, they fell on the floor. Okay,
Oh wow.
very hot. So anyways, I'm gonna chop them in little pieces, and I'm gonna chop also the carrots, right? A little bit more in smaller pieces. They're very tender. But I like them like that. I like to keep them, you know, almost raw. I don't care because I like my veggies not to cook, to keep the integrity of the vegetable, right?
Right.
So I'm making this amazing salad. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, I'm sorry for my messiness, but I want to make you this quickly. I'm going to put some mint. I have some mint leaves in here, right? A little bit of cilantro. And guys, this salad is amazing because you get the flavors of the cilantro and the mint and the roasted asparagus and the roasted, this table is uneven, so I have to be careful. I have to hold the table to cut it. So this is not the way you cut with your hand here, is that I need to hold the table. I need a better table to cut. So I'm cutting the herbs. I'm putting it in my salad. Also, don't do that with your finger. Don't ever do that. Use like a spoon or something, right? And
Right.
I also cut some red onions. I already have my onions clean and ready to go. I just need to cut them, right? When I need them. I'm gonna cut it really, I love red onions raw. If you don't like them raw, you can put them in a little bit of lemon juice before, but I love red onions raw. I don't mind. I love everything raw.
Oh, I don't like them raw. I like them.
So if you can saute them or you can put them in lemon and water and salt and leave them there while you're cooking. And I'm going to have some lemon juice and I'm going to add some salt and I'm going to add some pepper. And I'm going to add a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is amazing for your health. And also, it's tangy, right? So I'm going to have a spoon of apple cider vinegar to soak in all those flavors. And I'm going to have 1 spoon of olive oil. If you're boiling the olive oil, don't put olive oil. But if you can have a little bit, maybe even a half a tablespoon, guys, this is a salad that I'm going to make with my chicken, right? So I have shown you how to make two different plates, and I'm gonna play the, let me try this. I know I'm gonna make you envious, but let me try it. It's delicious.
I trust what you're saying.
Oh my God. The flavors of the veggies and the apple cider. I love apple cider. It's a little bit tangy. I need to pick this up from here. I dumped some of the asparagus in the floor, unfortunately. It was very hot. And so it's a different dish. And it's kind of with the same ingredients. We're using asparagus as well, but it's asparagus in a very different way. We roast it and we put them in a salad with a little bit of dressing and all the ingredients. So it's a very different dish. And let me get one of this. You will see how awesome is this. And let me get this. So I'm going to put a little bit of the salad in a plate.
That looks delicious.
Look how colorful is that, right?
Right.
Look how colorful.
Yes, I love vegetables.
And I'm going to have, because I have a small piece of that chicken already ready. Right? I'm gonna have it for you so you see it. You see the final dish. So I'm gonna cut it. Look how amazing is this,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm gonna put that chicken in there. You can have a dollop of this. If you try it and you like it, you can put a dollop. If not, don't put it. Right? And maybe a few sprigs of the cilantro. And you have another dish. That could be your lunch for tomorrow or your dinner.
Wow.
So look,
I am
all the
drooling.
It looks delicious.
So let me make sure everything is off before I say goodbye to you guys. Let me sit down. So, what do you think? Is this doable for you?
Yes, that
Was it easy?
doable. So it doesn't take a whole lot of spices, just a few.
Yes, just a few. And if you like spices and you have, it's good to invest in them. If you like to cook with the spices, and those spices really make a difference, because you're gonna have different meals, different flavors, and you're not gonna get bored. That salmon with those spices gonna taste completely different to the chicken, you know?
Yes.
So
any questions? Tell me, do you like it?
I like your meals, and they look absolutely delightful. Now, the only question is, do you normally do video cooking webinars or whatever, where people can come and subscribe to your channel? That's the first question. And the second,
Sure. I don't have like a channel, and actually it's one of the things that I put at the end. What I'm doing right now is I'm giving virtual classes, which are so amazing, because before the situation where we all are right now, I never thought of doing that. But now I do have personalized cooking classes and wellness workshop that I do one-on-one, right? Like we're doing. I can teach you, like I send you the package of what to do before. Like right now, I will have teach you what you have to have ready, and then we cook together. I can cook with you, or I can just see you and say, okay, Ken, do this and do that. No, remember that you need to do this. So I will be with you maybe 90 minutes in the Zoom while you cooking your meals, and I teach you and I go with you. Also, I do public virtual classes, which are very affordable. It's $15, but I don't cook in there. I usually is workshop. I have one that is all about plant-forward cuisine. We talk about why it's important to adopt a plant-forward cuisine style at home. What is it entitled of and why? And then I give you a menu to do it at home. And I teach you how to create menus more with plant focus, right? I also talk about salads and dressings in that class. I have another class that talks about herbs and spices, because for me, herbs and spices are so important. And again, we don't use them as much as we should really be using them. So I have one class completely to talk about that. And I also do a cooking demo at the end. I do a small thing, and I crush spices. I toast them, so you know how to toast them and how to use them all and all that. I have one that is talk about desserts, healthy desserts, and how to make more desserts in plants.
Healthy desserts.
Those are public classes. Yeah, the public classes, I need to have at least 4 people because it's only $15. So I opened them, for example, last Friday at 7 o'clock, we had a meal planning and prepping class. We had 7 people in that class. We were 2 hours. It was amazing. I show you photos of how to look at what are the tools that you need to do your meal planning. It is a very good class. So I rotate them. Like this week, I'm not going to do any classes because I take 1 week off because I have clients and other private clients. So next week, I'm going to do again plan forward. You can, you have Instagram?
I don't think I do. If I do, I'm shocked. I don't use Instagram, and if I have it, I haven't in years.
No problem. So what we do is send me your email, and I put you in my mailing list. And then I send you via email every time I have a class. Okay? That's what I do. And I post it on Instagram, on Facebook, and I send emails to those people that want to receive. I don't have like a email marketing. I'm going to be honest. I should, but I don't. So I only send
So you have a Facebook page then?
Huh?
You have a Facebook page then?
I do have a Facebook page. Yes, it's same name. I'll have all my details in here. Let me see. If you want to take a picture. Yes, that's my email and my Instagram and my website. You can put yourself in the website as well. I can, so if you're driving, don't do that, please. I'll send it to you. You're parked. Okay, good, because you scared me for a moment. Yes, take a picture of that. That's my website. And in there, you can find my Instagram and my Facebook and all that. And my Facebook, I think, is Chef Dulce Jimenez as well. I have so many social, what I don't have is actually what I don't use is YouTube. I don't do a lot. I do Instagram, and I have a lot of videos on Instagram. I do lives, but more of the lives are to talk about cooking, cooking books, to talk about fasting, to talk about health, wellness, those things. But when I cook, it's one-on-one and some of the public classes, because it's an expense, you know, and look at sometimes people don't go. So I cannot afford to buy a bunch of food and then not having anybody to give them to or teach them. So look, this class is free and only 2 people show up. So that's why, yeah, that's why that's why I'm very conscious of cooking unless I do have someone that is paying and is going to go. So say you want to do a personalized cooking class and you don't want to pay $100 or even $75. You get 4 people, 3 more people. Let's take a cooking class with Chef Dulce, and I do a personalized cooking class, 4 people or less. And then that will be less expensive. It will be $25 per person, you know. Because if I have at least 4 people in the public classes for cooking, it's not feasible for me. Okay?
Understood. Now I got another question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a restaurant that you are a chef in, so that when I'm in is it Florida, I believe, in the Florida area, that I can stop in?
No. But if you're in Florida, say you come to Florida and you want to eat my meal, I can cook for you and take it to where you are. I can cook if you're in a hotel. I could do that hotel and cook your meals while you're here. I am a personal chef. What a personal chef does is we cook in clients' homes or in clients' office, or if you have like a retreat, I go and cook for a retreat. I don't have a restaurant. I tried that route. I don't like it. Restaurants are very demanding, and my focus is on teaching you to eat for good health. That's my focus, and that's
Understood.
what I want to do. Uh,
Are you near Cheryl?
I'm sorry?
Are you near Cheryl?
Oh yeah, we're 7 minutes away, 9 minutes away. We're very close. Yeah.
Okay, because I don't know if Cheryl told you, but I'm her dad.
Yes, of course she told me. Of course, she was
Okay.
very excited when that you were coming. Yes.
Yep. I'm way in Connecticut though, but I am going to whew, when this COVID thing comes and people can go state to state. Because right now in Connecticut, if I was to visit Florida, they would quarantine me for
Oh, yeah.
14 days as soon as I get back. I
Yeah.
lose 14 days of work. I just had a relative pass in North Carolina. I could not attend a funeral because of that. So when the COVID thing gets to a point where we can travel again without any what's the term? Without any reprisals,
Restrictions. Yeah, and restrictions.
restrictions. There you go. I will come down. I will get in touch with her and you because we
Course.
definitely have to have that meal.
No.
The salmon one,
Yes.
outstanding. We got to do the whole thing, the vegetables, all of it. And we got to do dessert, the plant-based
Sorry.
dessert.
Well,
Absolutely.
no, for you and for Cheryl, come on, you're like family. I know Cheryl many years ago. She has supported me so much because I am great in the kitchen, but as I said, I don't like to exercise. The most I do is dance and walk. But more than that, I don't. And besides her being a fitness coach, she's a amazing human being, very spiritual. We share the same beliefs. And there were moments that I was going to train with her and she will see me like, what's going on? And I was like, I just want to talk. And I start crying because I was going through a lot. You know, I was 300 pounds. I was diagnosed with 2 different illnesses, which I don't mention them. Thank God I never needed to go on medication to be on a horrible treatments like they were telling me that I was supposed to do. What I started to do was really looking at my life. And not because I teach about it, but because that was like true. I look at my lifestyle, the way I was living, my attitude toward life. I was always unhappy of my job, my relationship, all that. Nutrition, exercise, zero. So, yeah.
So
And
you
like,
exercise while you were losing the weight?
I'm sorry, say it
Did
again.
you exercise while you were losing the weight?
Did you exercise while you lost
Not
weight?
as I wanted, not as much as I wanted. Let me tell you, I went to a lot of trainers. I pay a lot of money. I tried a lot of diets. I got hurt many times with trainers that didn't know what they were doing. The only trainer, let me tell you, in a year, I had about 9 different trainers. In about
Wow.
like 9 or 10 trainers. Cheryl was my last trainer, and we're still friends. And that was like about 4 years ago. And I did a lot of training with her because she was compassionate. She understood where I was coming from and my needs, and still she does. That's today. Like I hurt my elbow, my shoulder, because this is a very demanding job. And I said this year, I said to her, like, look, I really have to go back and do, the strength training. I'm very good at cardiovascular training, but I need strength to, you see all the pots and pans I need to lift and all the things
Right.
I need to move. So she's very compassionate with that. And that's what I didn't do. I should have kept myself doing exercises at the same time with my diet. I focus more on my diet and my mental health, my lifestyle changes. And what was that? Oh my God, it scared me. I thought it was something burning. It's sprinkles outside. So yeah, so because my life was in a particular situation, I needed to take care of so many things. And of course, the thing that I didn't like the most was the fitness, and I didn't do that of that. Plus, I was scared of all the trainers because they were hurting me. I had, many situations happening. One trainer gave me a diet, and I almost end up. I end up in the hospital with that diet.
Oh no.
Well,
Some
Dulce,
trainers
let
are
me,
not nutritionists.
Dulce, how much did Cheryl tell you about me?
Not much, honestly. She's very
Let,
private. We talk about us, and then I talk about me when I'm with her. No,
well,
she's.
let me
She
tell
told
you a little bit about
me
me.
a little bit about her mom. Let me stop the recording. I don't want your personal life to be recorded. So I
That's fine.
thank you for being here. I'm just gonna turn off the recording so we can continue chatting. I don't mind. Okay. So.
Sure.